morale were getting so much money that I actually needed the computer to do the upgrading for me because it was taking like 5 minutes to buy all the new ammo. So I added this to the program and now we can just let him play. Wait, hold on a second. Wait a second. No, why? When the did he do that? The fucking dickhead hired a gunman. Oh. You know what, I'm not starting again because an AI bought a gunman. Oh. Alright, fine. This is Henry. He wasn't fucking invited, but he's here anyway. He will stay here with us for the rest of the run-through. This day, I have no idea what the fuck happened. The program shouldn't have been able to fight gunmen. Whatever. Moving on. Everyone gets lonely, I guess. So, yeah. Cheeky fun fact of the day. Code Bullets fun fact. This game continues forever. So you technically can never beat it. I thought it like stopped at day 40 or something. So yeah, don't I look like a fool? Yeah, so since you can actually never beat the game, I guess I lost the challenge. The AI also bought the gunman, so that's another way I lost. Yeah, let's just see how far the AI can go, and I guess you can decide if I win or not. Yeah, it will be an ambiguous ending, like in novels and shit. The ending is up to you. Yeah, that sounds like I know what I'm doing. Anyway, back to the game. Okay, so I've got so many bullets at this point that the game is starting to break. Obviously, the game developers never expected anyone to buy 10,000 bullets, but we're just getting started, baby. Right, so at this point, the amount of ammo that we have is so large that it lasts us the entire day. So really, we don't need to buy any more. So in the current mode we're doing, the program clicks at about 140 clicks per second. So at this point, I did a few cheeky upgrades to further increase the number of the clicks, after which the AI was able to reach a whopping 300 clicks per second. That's a lot. That's a few. It's really not necessary. I'm pretty sure the AI could have continued for a long time without this. But when you got bullets to spare, you gotta make it fucking rain, boy. So yeah, 300 a second is pretty ridiculous. I could increase it even further, but the game is actually starting to wig out a bit. So let's keep it here. So it's honestly pretty boring at this point. The AI shoots so absurdly fast that there is no hope for these poor people. They hardly make it on the screen, and no one has even damaged their house in like 80 days. And on top of that, Henry the Madman isn't taking any prisoners either. So let's super fast forward through this bitch. So something has happened. I unfortunately didn't have my screen capture software running when this happened, but I quickly whipped out my phone and recorded it live. So yeah, we broke the fucking game, baby! Woo! I'm counting that as a win. The game would have never ended, so that's as close to an end as you're gonna get. But yeah, no, it's fake. So yeah, the moral of the story is never play games of your childhood at 300 clicks a second, because they will get fucking wrecked. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I know people are waiting on the Q-learning video, and it is coming. It should be out within the week. It's probably gonna be my most ambitious video, editing-wise, so it's taking a lot longer than I expected. But I hope you enjoy it. Also, a shout out to my mate Simon. He doesn't really do anything. He's just a top bloke. Cheers.
It's about friendship and adventure. It's about going beyond city lights. No deadlines. Just the open road. It's about pristine lakes, places like this, and moments like these. It's about remembering who we are and where we came from. It's about the canoe, and it's about its significance. For First Nations, it was a tool of life. Today, it lets us explore with curiosity and respect. For 50 years, Nova Craft Canoe has balanced commerce with culture, bringing Canadian canoes to the world. And no matter the headwinds, Export Development Canada has been proud to support their journey. Because now more than ever, it's about a world that could use a little more Canada. Previously on AMC's The Walking Dead.
Oh, sorry, just a minute, stop there. It's Code Full, actually, not The Walking Dead. That's fine, I mean, honest mistake. It happens to the best of us. I mean, I did employ you to say literally 6 words, and you fucked it. But no, that's alright, that's fine. I forgive you, we've got a show to do. Let's just try it again.
Previously on AMC's The Walking
Oh,
Dead.
fuck you. After 3 months of radio silence, Evan remembers his YouTube channel is a thing and decides to reuse ideas from his previous content. The plan was simple. A snake AI, unlike any seen before. He will be the god of Snake World, and he will be beautiful. He will be perfect. However, things did not quite go as planned. Oh no. Oh no. Adrian, buddy, what are you doing? Okay, here we go again. Be comfortable, people. We're gonna be here for a while. Will Evan give up on this project like his Enigma Machine video, or will he prevail? Find out now on Code Bullet. Oh, hey, hi, how's it going? Been a while, yeah, that's not bad. How have you been? Oh, that's great. How are the kids? Yeah, fantastic. Wow, really interesting stuff. Okay, great. Now that we've caught up, let's get back into it. So, picking up where we left off in our journey to create a perfect snake AI. This was the best AI I could manage using Q-learning, which is, Adrian, you're a fucking disappointment to me and my entire family. But apart from that, you did fantastic. You guys gave me heaps of ways I could improve it, which is awesome. But the problem is, I don't really want to do any of them, so I'll just pretend there's nothing I can do to make it work with Q-learning, and let's put Adrian out of his misery. Am I doing good, Father? Oh, you're doing just great, buddy. Keep up the good work. Do it. Get it, boy. Okay. Got it.
Alright, let's kill this guy.
Oh, no, he's back. Bring him back up. Bring him back up. Are you guys fucking done? Thank you. Where was I? Okay, so as I was saying, we're going to get rid of any Q-learning or evolution bullshit and just break this problem down to its bare basics. So we're given a snake, and what we want to do is get some food while avoiding the wolves and our own tail. If you break it down like this, we can essentially treat the game of Snake as a series of mazes to solve. We've got the start point, we've got the end point, and we've got the walls. This is, of course, a massive oversimplification because the walls are moving and the way we get the food defines what our next maze will be like, but that one step at a time. The great thing about mazes is that computers are great at them, and computer scientists have been working on ways to solve mazes for ages. I mean, GPS's work, and that's essentially one fuck-off massive maze-solving problem. Although you're probably not going to see any code bullet ran in GPS's anytime soon because I feel like my style of doing things isn't exactly a great fit. Hey, so you're gonna want to turn left in about 5 minutes. And you f***ing missed it, you dickhead! Get the fuck out of my car! Thank you for driving with Code Bullet GPS. Hope you had a nice trip. Oh yeah, okay, so we got some mazes that need some solving, but how are we gonna do that? Well, let me introduce you to the world of pathfinding algorithms. Woo!
McDonald's so good.
Starting from here and finishing here. For most humans, this should be a fairly easy maze to solve. Just go around here, but for computers, it's a bit of a problem. The most simple solution is to generate every possible path and pick the first path which reaches the apple. This isn't the best strategy, but don't take my word for it. Let's map this shit. So there are 4 possible moves at each point in time. That's up, down, left, and right. And the path will take 34 moves to get to the food. We need to calculate how many different paths can be generated which have 34 moves, which is 4 to the power of 34 different paths, which can take that number of moves. And if we times up, I can't be caught doing this, and divide everything by a lack of a mathematics degree, we get, at least 4, probably. I don't really know why I decided to do the math. That was a poor decision. I really have no idea how many there are, but by the time we check them all, we would probably be getting closer to the heat death of the universe, so that's not super useful. Thanks for my compelling and mathematically sound argument. I'm sure you're convinced that this algorithm needs a little speeding up. What I'm planning on using is called A-star, and it's generally considered the heavyweight champ for these kind of searching algorithms. What it does is it prioritizes checking paths to get the snake closer to the apple over paths which take it further away. It does some fancy other shit, but that's the gist of it. Instead of just like searching randomly and checking every single path, it looks in the direction that the food is in. Alright, enough chatter. Let's go gadget A-star algorithm. Alright, here we go.
McDonald's.
Kind of what I expected. Alright, how about now? Well, enjoy the background. That counts as progress. I'm counting that as a win. Okay, there we go. So this is finding the shortest path from the head of the snake to the food. This solution is just riddled with issues. However, let's just sit back and pretend it's gonna work. You good, bro? You still with us? Hello? Okay, he's just stopped. He didn't die. He just kind of gave up. Yeah, okay, so there are 2 main problems with this. The first one is pretty obvious. Every time he gets some food, he needs to calculate the best path between the head and the next piece of food. While A-star is a pretty good algorithm, it's far from perfect, and still needs to check about 1 metric fuck ton of paths. So that's not ideal, and I can make it a little more efficient, however, I feel that's going to be an unfixable problem. The next problem is a bit more subtle. So let's quickly go over A-star again. It sees a situation like this and calculates the best route from the head of the snake to the apple. This is fine, however, since this path assumes that the body is not moving, it moves in a way to avoid the tail, which is no longer there. And this is also why he just kind of gave up, because there's no direct path from the head of the snake to the apple, and it doesn't think the walls are going to move. So it sees this as an impossible situation. This isn't too hard to fix, however, don't get too excited because there's still 1 whopper of a problem, which I'm yet to tell you. Finding the shortest path isn't really what we wanted to do anyway. If you watch people with no lives who are really good at snake, it's not like they go straight for the apple. Instead, they kind of do the opposite, potentially taking the longest path to the apple. Oh shit, that's a great idea. Right, so what I'm thinking is, what if we start out using A-star to find the quickest route, then once the snake gets a little bigger, we use the opposite of A-star to find the longest path. Here we go! Fuck, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Does it do that every time? Yep, yes it does. Okay, cool. Cool. That's fine. I'm fine. Okay, let's try something else. Yeah, okay, so that wasn't the best result, you would say, but I think there is promise with this strategy. Before it completely fucked itself, it was looking pretty good. So here is the plan. We want the AI to take the along this route without trapping the snake within its tail. So to do that, I added a rule to the reverse A star algorithm. So here's the rule. At all times, the head of the snake must be able to reach at least 80% of all empty blocks. So in this case, the head can only reach these blocks, which is less than 80%, so it's considered trapped and this path is thrown out. This prevents the AI from circling the food and will always leave it a way out. Okay, now we're making progress. As is standard on this channel, whenever I program something which looks like it's working, it's probably got a massive downside. In this case, the problem with discarding any paths which get the snake trapped is that sometimes this will discard all possible paths and the snake will get pissed off and take an angry nap, which is, well, a problem. But fear not, because in this case, the snake will enter survival mode, or to use the more scientific name, the oh fuck shit fuck no, I'm gonna die, I'll tell ya mode. That's, yeah. Blissful. This mode doesn't give a shit to where the apple is, all it's doing is trying to survive, and I'm sure you guys can figure out when it reaches this mode. Alright, let's put it all together and do a complete run through.
Man, I just want to eat.
was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up. No. You were so close! Oh, it's okay, Evan. I'm sure you're really close to getting it. A few more changes and you'll have done it. Yeah, you're right. You're right, we are really close. But fuck that, let's start again. Really? Yep, third time's the charm. Oh my god, we're never gonna finish this fucking game. Not with that attitude. Alright, let's get all this shit out of here. So yeah, I started again from scratch. Why? Well, because I've got a very short attention span, and the way I was doing wasn't working. So just kind of forget everything I've explained up until now, because we're starting fresh. This is the last time I'll start again. I promise. And I always keep my promises. What about Enigma Machine Part 2? And I usually keep my promises. What about putting out videos every Saturday? And I sometimes keep my promises. What about... Let's move on, shall we? Okay? Let's move on. But what's this new and improved algorithm we're going to implement? I would like to claim this one as my brainchild. However, that would be a lie. And I always tell the truth. What about Enigma Machine? Do you want to fucking die tonight?
And... Oh boy, here we go. We got the tortilla. We got the... Oh, I should have got the spoons ready. That's a time loss. I'll fix it next time. This will be a free time save. Spoons. We got the beans. We got the cheese. Oh, tortilla. Missed split. Oh no. Clock. Saved. Let's see. And then we did, let's see, the beans. We'll just go... I don't want fool's cloud the next time I do this, so we're just going to wait a little bit. And now we are all cut up. We are all cut up here. Some cheese. Sour cream. Maybe over here. This spoon is too big, by the way. I already have one of these open. Yes, I do have one open. That's going to be a time loss there as well. We'll have to fix that next time. Yeah, why did I close the bag? This is... I feel like I already lost, but we'll stick with it, right? We'll stick with it. Do I need like a spoon for this spoon? I think I do. These spoons are kind of big. How about this help? Yeah, this is gonna be a no reset run. You know what I just realized? I think this is why my lunch breaks take so long. Let's see, tomatoes. How about... I don't want too many of the juices, so we'll use a fork. I put the forks in here. I was so unprepared. This is ridiculous. Looks pretty good though. I am getting hungry. I might just eat this right now. Now another question is, was I supposed to microwave it? I guess it depends on when I eat it. If I'm just going to store it, it's fine this way. I just microwave it later when I eat it during my lunch break. So let's just, we'll do some green chilies. I am getting... And... Is it maybe a... That's not a burrito. We gotta close this thing. We gotta close it. Fold here. And fold here. Turn it around like that. That's how I store it. And clock. 3:05. It's a new world record for speed running a burrito. 100%. We did it. We did it. I mean, what more could you want?
Minecraft is an open-world sandbox game all about exploration, survival, and creativity. With an extremely large world that is all yours to explore and design, the game is meant to be played while enjoying the moment and taking your time. But some people don't play by these rules. Beginning development in May of 2009 and officially releasing on November 18, 2011, Minecraft is one of the most popular games ever. With over 180 million copies sold, it is the best-selling video game of all time. The game has impacted almost everybody in some type of way, big or small. But some of these people wanted more. As with any popular game, some people wanted to beat it as fast as possible. When Minecraft's alpha and beta versions were released back in 2009 and 2010, there was actually no end to the game like there is now. The end dimension did not exist yet, and would not exist until the official release at Minecon 2011. So, what did speedrunners do before there was the end? Well, they tried to reach Bedrock as fast as possible. As ridiculous as it sounds, and as ridiculous as it is, for the time, it was something, and it started the development of a speedrunning community within Minecraft. The first documented speedrun of Minecraft is reaching Bedrock in around 2 minutes, done by DJS. His comments are as follows. Now most of you are probably WTF, but the only goal of the speedrun of a Minecraft speedrun I could figure out of was getting to the bottom, Bedrock, fastest. Most of this is luck-based probably, since you'll want to spawn near a tree and some cobblestone visible, not get some coal or redstone or iron or similar in the way, and not getting in a lava pit or similar. Anyway, my tactic was to restart until a good spawn. I could have been better, but it's pretty okay. Get some wood, make a workbench, make a wood shovel, and a wood pickaxe. Get 3 cobblestone, the wood pickaxe is used for this. Make a cobblestone pickaxe. Dig a pit at low a level as possible, then just pray and mine down with your cobblestone pickaxe until you reach the bedrock. This type of speedrunning prompted other small categories to pop up, such as mining diamonds as fast as possible. The first run of this type was finished in around 3.5 minutes by Flaming Mage. Many other small categories were mentioned but never acted upon, such as killing a ghast as fast as possible, entering the nether as fast as possible, and other arbitrary goals similar to that. But as user TJP7154 said, Minecraft is a sandbox, so until the new adventure mode comes out, we have to make our own casual speedrunning goal. This means that everything is arbitrary, so let's arbitrate. Another category mentioned was a possible 100%, which would involve collecting at least one of every single item in the game. People mentioned how much RNG a run of this magnitude would have. It was undoubtedly true that it would be extremely hard to get a run like this optimized. However, an SDA user named GregSpeed mentioned the idea of using one seed to find everything the same way every time, and at this moment, the set seed category was born. Almost everybody was on board with the idea of using one set seed to do speedruns on, but not everyone. I'll touch more on that later though. Seed finding efforts immediately began on the Speed Demos archive, also referred to as SDA, thread titled Minecraft Planning. It was around this time that Update 1.0 was released, completely changing the game and adding a proper ending. Planning of diamond routes quickly shifted to planning of stronghold routes, a naturally generated structure that houses the portal that leads to the end dimension, where the Ender Dragon resides, the game's final boss. Weeks of deliberation led to many different possibilities. But before we go further, it's important to note what is needed to get to the end dimension, which is the same whether you're doing a speedrun or not. The first thing you need is Ender Pearls, which are used to craft Eyes of Ender. These Eyes of Ender are what allow you to go to the end, as putting them in end portal frames is what activates the portal. In order to craft Eyes of Ender, you not only need Ender Pearls, but you need Blaze Powder too, which is crafted by putting blaze rods in the crafting section of your inventory, or alternatively a crafting table. This means that going to the nether is a requirement, which in turn means obsidian is a requirement. While this seems like a huge hurdle, as you would need a diamond pickaxe to mine the obsidian, it was already known that obsidian could be formed by putting flowing water on top of stagnant lava, meaning a portal could be formed without a diamond pickaxe. Once all of that is done, you're essentially ready to go to the end, but beating the Ender Dragon with nothing else is unrealistic. So most of the theory crafting on the thread was aimed at figuring out the bare minimum amount of resources that would need to be gathered in order to defeat the dragon, such as how many arrows you would need, if you would need any armor, and so on, and a lot of this would depend on what was found in the seed that was used. However, this is where 2 categories split off. The SDA thread continued to theory craft and find seeds based on using glitches such as duplication. However, others wanted a no-dupe glitch category, which at the time was basically completely glitchless. These 2 groups had to split, because the seeds used for these categories would be completely different. For a glitch category,
And that's
simply
it for
referred to
today.
as
Have a
set
nice
seed,
day.
or SS, with glitch
Oh,
implied in the
there's
title,
one person
you
watching.
could just find a seed with a few
Not
chests
YOLO.
that contained what you need between villages, desert temples, nether fortresses, and strongholds, and then duplicate those items. But for set seed glitchless, or SSG, you would need a really good seed with everything you need scattered around the map in a relatively close proximity. All in all, seed finding for a glitchless category would prove to be much more difficult than for a glitch category. This challenge was extremely daunting to the community, with
Alright.
many people shutting down the idea.
Let's see how I do. Right? Right? Oof. Oh. Right? Oh. Alright, gotta try my best every day.